Tonight on the Nation Sports Show, we bring to you our recaps of Week 4 in the National Football League. The first full month of the 2024 NFL regular season is in the books. Some of the games we break down from Week 4's schedule include one of the most ugliest games ever played between the Jets and the Broncos that ended in humiliation for the Jets. On Monday night, a perfect game played by the Detroit Lions against the Seattle Seahawks. We also bring to you our Week 5 prediction battles. Starting this week, the MLB postseason gets underway. We also bring to you the latest breaking news in the NFL, the NBA, and more. It's showtime.
Good up to the court, talking all that is sport, breaking down the latest news, scores, and more. Welcome to our Nation Sports Show.
In the words of Chris Jericho, hi guys, we are live. What is going on, everybody? You know how to pull a little wrestling reference out of my bag of tricks sometimes. But anyways, we are here. We are live here for another edition of our Nation Sports Show here on YouTube.com. I am your host for this evening. Late news coming down in the schedule that Ezra, unfortunately, not feeling well today. He will be sitting this one out, but have no fear, his scorers will be here for week number 5 in the National Football League. And speaking of the NFL, we will be recapping week 4 in the NFL and talking about other things that has happened on in the world of sports, such as yesterday's doubleheader between the Braves and the Mets. And both of those teams are now advancing to the playoffs in the world of Major League Baseball. And there were some wild games that took place in the NFL. And before we get to all of those things, we got to plug the social media platforms. We're not getting paid for this, but we love doing what we do, folks. And you can follow us on Twitter at ON_Sports Show, Facebook.com/Our Nation Sports Show, and where we are live right now on YouTube.com/Our Nation Sports Show. Be sure to like, share, hit that subscribe button, share this video with all your family and your friends that love the world of sports, and all of that good stuff. And joining me right here, right now, live and in color, my brother from another mother. He is happy as can be. His Commanders won 2 games back-to-back in a belly-to-belly, baby, as Jaden Daniels is looking really good in these last couple weeks. First against Cincinnati and then this past weekend against Arizona. He is my brother. He is my comrade in wrestling, a good man, and also, for those that don't know, a father, as him and his wife have adopted a baby. He is my brother, JT. No, he did not go to a Diddy party, Joey Thornton.
This coming from the Ayatollah of rock and roller. But what's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's having an amazing Tuesday. Yeah, we're going to be just a teensy bit short-handed tonight, but we got
3/5 of the head honchos, with, of course, number 3 joining us later, with Mr. Kevin Roy coming on later to give us his thoughts and his picks. Prayers going up for Ezra right now, as he's dealing with a sinus headache, I believe it is, and whatever Hijack has got going on. Hope to see you back next week, brother. But till then, hey, we got some sports to talk about. Let's go.
As the song goes, the show must go on. And man, there was a lot that went on over the weekend. And starting out with the NFL, or before we get to the NFL, I do want to bring this up. Last night, or yesterday afternoon into the night, there was a doubleheader in the world of Major League Baseball on the final day of baseball between the Braves and the Mets. If one of those two teams would have swept, they would have been in and knocked the other team out, and the Diamondbacks would have gotten in. But that's not what happened. The Mets took the first game of the doubleheader against the Atlanta Braves. They won in dramatic fashion as Atlanta had 2 outs at the top of the ninth, leading 7-6. And the Mets scored on a 2-run homer to take that game eventually 8-7. And then Atlanta took the second game of the doubleheader. So they are both in, and the Diamondbacks are also out of the playoffs, as well as the defending World Series champions, the Texas Rangers. They are obviously out because they didn't have a great season this year. And that is the one thing about Joey that I can say, not only with the NFL, but in the world of baseball, there is a lot of parity that goes on every year, it seems like.
Oh, there definitely is, because you never really see, what's the word that I'm looking for here? You never really know what to expect when it comes to baseball, because baseball, for one, is the longest tenured season out of any of the professional sports that are played here in the Americas, with it being 162 games. You never know what injuries might take place. You never know what teams are going to get on a hot streak, and ones tend to be on the down low. And I know he's not here tonight, but I want to send special condolences to Ezra's Chicago White Sox, because they had one of the worst years, if not the worst year, out of any baseball team that I've ever seen. So I hate to say it, brother, but the White Sox, they need help, and I know that you can agree with me on that statement. But yeah, you never know what to expect when it comes with the game of baseball. I mean, anything can happen at any given time. And players can break records, players can go on streaks, teams can go on streaks. Heck, if we're lucky, we may even get to see a match on pay-per-view on a baseball field here and there. You never know what to expect.
You're right about that. I mean, you never know. You never know. I mean, and the Chicago White Sox, I mean, they were the epitome of terrible. I mean, we have seen in the world of sports our fair share of bad teams across the NBA, the NFL, so on and so forth. We have seen in the NHL, baseball, some really bad teams. But I cannot remember a team being this bad if you are losing in the fashion that they are. I mean, because the Chicago White Sox were so bad, the attendance figures were putrid. Just not good.
No, they really weren't. I mean, this is the most losses that a team has had in a season since the 2003 Detroit Tigers, who lost, I want to say it was 119 games that year.
Yep. And the White Sox obviously lost 121 games. I mean, and who also would have thought that the White Sox would lose in such one of the worst seasons in professional sports history? And in the same season, the Detroit Tigers would make it to the MLB postseason.
Not only that, but the American League, there was quite a roller coaster effect because, I mean, honestly, not just the Detroit Tigers, but the Kansas City Royals and the Baltimore Orioles, all three teams were seen as laughing stocks not that long ago. But all three of those teams are in the playoffs this year. That's why I said you never know what to expect.
No, you never know. You never know. I mean, we've seen teams go from the epitome of dog shit to the top of the mountain. I mean, just like in the NBA, I mean, 18 years ago, the Boston Celtics had one of the worst records in the NBA, and they finished, I believe, dead last that year in the Eastern Conference. And then the next year, they won the championship. And if you're the White Sox, you have to look at yourself and go, we're not where we want to be. But I mean, and the attendance figures were so bad as this losing streak kept continuing.
Yeah, they were.
I mean, you could get tickets to the ballpark enough for not even like just knowing how Yankee tickets are comparing the front part of the dugout versus White Sox. White Sox tickets were more cheaper.
Right?
But man, crazy how anything can happen. Anything can happen. So, with that being said, the baseball season begins. New season, the place. Excuse me, I'm all over the place. My tongue's all over the place. I'm just so excited. Anyways, I'm more tongue tied than Jerry Jones. We're all in. But anyways, the MLB playoffs will be beginning this week. As we all know, the wild card round is the first round to be, and then divisional series gets underway.
Just to do a little correction there, Steven, the playoffs have actually started today.
Oh.
All four games are taking place today. Either they've already taken place or currently playing right now or will be starting later on.
All right.
So the matchups are as follows. In the American League, we have let's see, I'm trying to think. It is the number 6 seed Detroit Tigers against the number 3 seed Houston Astros. And then you have the number 5 seed Kansas City Royals going up against the number 4 seed Baltimore Orioles. And both those games have already played today. The Detroit Tigers were actually able to silence the Bats down in Houston, going away with a win 3-0 behind the amazing pitching of Tariq Skubal, who is the leading candidate for the American League Cy Young Award this year.
Interesting.
And also in the other game, the Kansas City Royals were locked in a defensive battle with the Baltimore Orioles, but the Royals were able to squeak out a 1-0 win in these best-of-3 series. And let me see what. And in the National League, we have the game that's currently going on right now, which is the number 6 seed New York Mets taking on the number 3 seed Milwaukee Brewers. And Lord have mercy, the Mets have completely blown it up right now. In the top of the 5th with 2 outs, they are up 8-4 over the Milwaukee Brewers. And later on tonight, it's going to be, of course, my Atlanta Braves going into Petco Park to take on the San Diego Padres.
Interesting.
That game's going to be kicking off at 8:30, so literally just under an hour and a half.
Interesting. Anyways, moving on to what we came here to talk about, and that is the NFL. From this past week in week 4.
Hang on a second. There's a couple things I want to bring up in baseball real quick since we're on the subject still.
Yep.
First off, not sure if anybody has heard, but the baseball world lost one of the all-time greats last night with the man who was banned from baseball and who had
Yes.
yet to appear in the Hall of Fame. Mr. Pete Rose has unfortunately passed away at the age of 83. Um, so sad. Prayers and condolences going up to his family in this very difficult time. And also, uh, on Sunday, or I can't remember when their last game was, but an era has come to an end. And that is, and we've talked about this on the show various times, and it is now official. The Oakland Athletics have played their absolute last game at Oakland Coliseum. They
Oh
will
yeah.
no longer be called the Oakland A's.
This is a live presentation, a public service announcement brought to you by all of us here at a Nation Sports Show. This goes out to John Fisher and Dave Cavill. We have 2 words for you. Fuck you and your corruption. You're the biggest waste of presidency and team owner of scumbags in the world of sports. You have lied to your fans, saying that we are all in, just like Jerry Jones and the Cowboys said. We were all in the offseason. Dave Cavill, you spoke to Hijacker Mike and all of his friends down there in California saying, we're going to stay in Oakland. We are here to stay in Oakland. No, you're not here to stay in Oakland. You're here to spread bullshit lies to the entire fan base of Oakland. Again, John Fisher and Dave Cavill, fuck you. And now, back to your regular scheduled programming of our Nation Sports Show. See, even I on live on the air can do a voiceover. Imagine that. Do
Yes,
it live.
imagine that. Imagine that. And before we dive into the NFL, because that's going to be literally what we talk about for the majority of the show. I also want to point out that there was another unfortunate passing, but this one was not in baseball. This one was in the NBA. One of the greatest shot blockers in the history of the game, and the man who actually starred in a Geico commercial several years ago, Mr. Dikembe Mutombo, has unfortunately passed away from brain cancer at the age of 58. He was a All NBA player for several years. In his 18-year career, he made it to the All-Star game 8 times, which is a very proud achievement. And not only that, but he was also the first global brand ambassador for the National Basketball Association. He was a monster on the court, but he was a gentle giant off the court. So he is definitely going to be missed. Prayers and condolences going out to him and his family in this very difficult time.
I mean, to be 58 years old, and I mean, it like, it's just, it sucks. I mean, the man, one of the best, big men in the NBA, and just his physical presence on the basketball court, like he was such a physical specimen on the court because people feared him when they went into the paint. And I mean, and also Pete Rose. I mean, we know Pete Rose's life, we know was crazy and chaotic. And I mean, the guy was one of the greatest baseball players to ever play. And also, Pete Rose was known in the world of professional wrestling with his run-ins with Kane in the WWF. And
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
that is my fondest memories of Pete, is him showing up to Boston and at WrestleMania 14. And I'll never forget that as a kid. And when he said, when I was here last time, we kicked your ass, I was like, man, he's getting heel heat already. And then Kane coming out there, tombstone power driving him, like, just, man, those were the times. Those were the times. I mean, and then he encountered him again at WrestleMania 15 and WrestleMania 16. I mean, just crazy, crazy, crazy. Again, our thoughts and our prayers and our condolences go out to the entire family of Pete Rose and Dikembe Mutombo.
So yeah, now we can go into the NFL.
Yeah, so we start things out with Thursday Night Football, and the Dallas Cowboys squeaked by the New York Giants in a game that was filled with flags, 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 more flags. Oh, dear God. Too many flags.
Yeah, and yes, the Cowboys may have won that game, even though they looked absolutely lost on both sides of the field. But it also came at a price
Yes, it
because
did.
they are now without Micah Parsons for 2 to 3 weeks because of a I can't remember if it was a ankle sprain or a foot injury. It's one of those two. But DeMarcus Lawrence is going to be out for even longer. He is dealing with a Frank injury in his right foot. He is going to be out for at least the next 4 weeks, maybe even up to 8 weeks.
Oh,
So,
boy. Oh,
yeah,
boy.
though that victory came at a price.
And if you are the Dallas Cowboys going forward, the schedule does not get any easier from here on out.
No, it does not.
You cannot afford to be losing your top defensive players and when they've had injuries on the offensive end of the football. And also, you can't afford to have offensive linemen going down because if you do that, you're going to be putting Dak in a precarious situation because Dak does not want to be, having to, get used to a backup offensive guard, or center, because like if they start having injuries down that front, they're screwed. And the Dallas Cowboys defense made Daniel Jones look like he was Tom Brady for 3 quarters.
Pretty much.
Because Daniel Jones did not have an interception going into the game. He had an interception at the very end of the game. Whoopee, yippee. It was the end of the game.
And it was on a Hail Mary attempt when most passes usually get picked off anyways.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Dak Prescott still had a nice touchdown pass to CeeDee Lamb, who finally saw the end zone. And if Kevin comes in here with a name similar to that, I will be a happy man. But the Cowboys, I mean, they do have talent. But man, they're gonna have to, during these rough times, they're gonna have to be all in, to be playing for one another because, I mean, it doesn't get any easier because they are going to be dealing with some competition, not just in the NFC conference, but also in their own division. We're going to get to that team here in a little bit. But when it comes to this win, oh, you finally stopped the run. Oh, do you want a trophy for finally stopping the run? Yay! We stopped the run for the first time all season. Yay! As the song, in this case, I'll replace the lyrics and say this. Oh, so you finally stopped the run, huh? That don't impress me much. So, yeah. You don't impress me very much, Cowboys, because you stopped the Giants team from running the ball. Try doing that to San Francisco. Try doing that to the Washington Commanders. Try doing that to the New Orleans Saints again. Oh, wait, you won't because they already beat you.
Try doing that to the Baltimore Ravens again. Oh, wait, you can't because Derrick Henry ran all over y'all.
Yep, and it wouldn't surprise me when that happens again later on this year.
If it does.
If it does. Keyword, if. Anyways, moving on down to the Sunday portion of the schedule, and I had to bring this up. The New York Jets. Are you freaking kidding me? One of the worst, ugliest games in the NFL's history. This game was so bad from a quarterbacking standpoint. I mean, now granted, the weather conditions didn't help either. But Aaron Rodgers, as a soundbite once said, you done messed up, hey, Ron. Instead of going for the home run ball when you're down one, just get a couple of slant patterns up, up to the sideline and call it a day. And then he caused Greg Zuerlein to kick a 50-plus yard field goal, and he missed it. And Broncos fans were holding on to their breaths because they just oh no, we gave the game away because our kicker missed a 50-yard kick. Well, the Jets can't have nice things, can they? No. And I mean, on a day when Aaron Rodgers could not really get nothing going in this game, I mean, just no touchdowns in the game. And what was so funny is he got blindsided on the last sack of the game.
Yep.
And this is coming from a blind guy, so take that for what you will. But Aaron Rodgers said after the game that I didn't play great. Yeah, the weather wasn't great, but neither was my play. So okay, yeah, you owned up to it. But in typical Jets fashion, they lose the most Jets of games that they typically would lose. On a day when Bo Nix threw for 60 pissing yards. At one point, he threw for -7. Negative
he was
7.
literally 7 of 15 for -7 yards passing in the first half.
That's the quarterback you lose to?
And he wound up going 12 of 25 for 60 yards and a touchdown.
You know what? I know the Colts and the Broncos game was complete dog shit. But this game, this might take
a close second.
This is a close second. This was ugly.
No. It was ugly.
Thank you, Lion King reference.
Yes.
But yeah, this game was not good. Offensively, it wasn't good. Defensively, But it was just sloppy. Yeah, this wasn't good. The Saints and the Falcons had a wild game for the ages. I mean, Kirk Cousins and, that offense, they looked pretty well in this game, and Derek Carr in the offense, made some plays. But, I mean, the Saints defense, yet again, for a second consecutive week, they let them down at the worst possible times. I mean, Younghoe Koo had a 58-yard field goal, and he made it. And the Falcons beat the Saints in one of the oddest games of the week, 26-24. I mean, the game was crazy. And speaking of crazy, I'm sorry, but these Carolina Panther fans that said, oh, we're back. You came back down to the planet that we call Earth.
Yes, they did.
Even though it was a somewhat competitive game, I'll give you that for being competitive. Finally, you're being competitive with an actual quarterback in Andy Dalton. The Red Rifle, unlike Bryce Young, can't complete a pass when it matters the most. Unlike Bryce Young, Andy Dalton has been to the playoffs. And that's not a prediction. That is a spoiler. Anyways, the Cincinnati Bengals finally got off the schneid and got a victory, 34-24 over the weekend. So Joe Burrow and company finally got off the mat with a victory in the, to start out, their campaign. They're 1-3. They're still behind the 8 ball. They got a lot of catching up to do. And speaking of the AFC North, one of the unbeatens is no longer the unbeaten. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they lost to the Colts, 27-24. I mean,
hey, after Anthony Richardson went down, the journeyman, the grandpa, Joe Flacco, he stepped up and he stepped in.
Attention, Pittsburgh Steelers, you got Flacco'd. The Pittsburgh Steelers are no longer going to Super Bowl undefeated. They might still go to the Super Bowl, but it'll probably be by SeatGeek. Thank you, Tree, for those quotes and those videos that you've done over the years. Look, Justin Fields, to me, he is the guy. I don't give a damn if Russell Wilson is healthy today, tomorrow, next Sunday, doesn't matter. Justin Fields is the guy. If Chef Russ was the quarterback of this team, he would be cooking a big pile of dog shit. Because I don't trust Russell Wilson at this stage of the game. Justin Fields can run, and he's actually developing himself as a pretty good quarterback because, oh wait, he has a head coach.
That's right, he does.
Because sometimes the head coaches are just as important as the offensive players. But yeah, he looked even though it wasn't a loss, he still looked a hell of a lot better than Aaron Rodgers and the Jets did. The Philadelphia Eagles ass-kicking alert. That took place at the hands of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 33-16. At one point, it was 24-0. Speaking of nothing, Jalen Hurts was literally hurting the team, doing nothing on offense. The defense couldn't stop a cold if their lives were on the line.
Yes, and Kevin pointed this out in our chat. With 4 minutes to go in the first half, how many total yards did the Eagles have? Oh, that's right, none. Zip.
None.
4 minutes to go in the first half. They had zero. Count them, 0 total yards.
That looked like one of Kevin's games on Madden where he put the computer's stats down to 0.
Or better yet, no. For a team to have 0 total yards, those Madden ratings or those Madden sliders would probably be at like -50.
Yeah, and the offensive lineman's awareness would be down, and Kevin would just sneak up behind the quarterback and just get in the backfield and go, weak, sacked. Moving on, the Houston Texans got another victory in the column over the weekend. CJ Stroud and company looking good again after getting embarrassed last week by the Minnesota Vikings. Texans.
Yeah. Granted, the game was very close.
It was. Of course, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars are now 0-4.
And they actually even had a chance to win the game too. But CJ Stroud. Talk about perfect timing. We're actually talking about the Texans and the Jaguars right now. And here comes Trevor Lawrence, the Walmart employee.
Kevin, your timing is impeccable, my good friend.
Damn, that was good timing. I don't know why.
We're literally talking about the Texans and the Jaguars, and here he comes talking about throwing shade at Trevor Lawrence.
Kevin, did you have a signal coming near you? Warning, Mr. Rory, we're talking about the Jaguars absolutely losing another game. Thank you. Come again.
Yeah. I figured y'all were talking about the Jaguars because I could smell the stench of dog crap, and I said, you know what? You must be talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars. So let me get on here. Perfect timing.
Kevin, we talked enough about this goof of a quarterback. Trevor Lawrence. He had that one good year in 22. You go.
Yeah, just
again, like the name of my thing says, Trevor Lawrence is like 2 picks away from being a Walmart employee. If it wasn't for what he did at Clemson, my God, he would. It's crazy in the NFL. You got quarterbacks who literally can do everything they can, and people keep trying to say, well, he needs to do this. But then you got quarterbacks like Trevor Lawrence who stinks it up, and then you got people, well, it's the coaching. It's this. It's because yada, yada, yada. Like Richard Sherman said, oh, it's because he was born on the 23rd of January instead of the 24th. Yeah, quit making excuses for the guy. And then you got other quarterbacks that, like, like Brock Purdy, when you're like, oh well, he's played good without Christian McCaffrey, but can he do this? Can he do that? They still lost. Yada yada yada. Like, come on, dude, quit the shit. I mean, we've seen play like Dak Prescott goes through it. Josh Allen even goes through it. Yes, he has the turnovers, but people still do that shit. Oh, he can win and he looks good, but can he? Yada yada yada. That doesn't work, man. While Trevor Lawrence is over here throwing ducks, getting scared, throwing picks to people who literally died on the field. And then, oh well, it's because of people's quick to make excuses like it's the offense's problem or like it's his receiver's problem or his offensive line. No, he just stinks. He can't read a defense.
But yet, Trevor Lawrence is so beloved in Jacksonville that their freaking stadium is named after him.
Well, if his stadium's named after him, then they need to name the local dump after him because that's how he's been playing. Like it belongs at the local trash dump. I don't get it, dude. He gets all the passes in the world, and he's out there. He can't read a defense. Again, this goes back to the NFL Combine. I don't care how much of an arm talent you have. I don't care how much of a big arm you got. I don't care about what you did in college. I don't care about how you played in college. I care about how you can process and read defenses in the NFL. And he cannot do that.
No, he cannot.
No, he cannot. It's pretty bad. Pretty bad. I mean, and we also were talking about, Kevin, before you came on, about the Jets and the Broncos. I mean, what in the living hell was that? I mean, Aaron Rodgers, no touchdowns against a rookie quarterback who at one point was 7-15 for negative yardage.
Yes, I seen that. And my thing is exactly what I told y'all guys before the season. I don't trust Aaron Rodgers right now. Was he once a bad man? Yes, once. But if you remember before the Achilles tear, look at his last year in Green Bay. He struggled. He literally struggled. And I felt that was the time that his decline is starting, and he's starting to fall off that cliff. And exactly right. I don't think he's getting better. I don't think what he once was. He still don't stink like Trevor Lawrence, and I mean that's pretty hard to do. But he's decent, but he's not what he used to be. And I don't take the Jets serious in the division, let alone the playoffs, because as long as the Buffalo Bills are there, and the way they're playing football up until Sunday night, I think that they don't have a shot. They have a snowball's chance in hell. They have about as much a shot as Miami right now.
Oof. Miami has a quarterbacking problem.
Yes, and we're going to get to Miami in just a little bit. But
yes, we are.
Another game we were talking about, Kevin, was the complete annihilation that Tampa Bay put on Philadelphia.
Oof.
Philadelphia has a coaching problem. They have a problem. I mean, holy shit. It was once, just like the crazy Bo Nick stat in the Broncos, it was once Tampa Bay in the second quarter, total yards, Tampa Bay 255, the Eagles 0, -3 passing yards, 3 rushing yards, 0, zip, nada.
That looked like, and I was saying, Kevin, that looked like you playing Madden and the computer sliders were down.
Yeah, I mean, it was a quite ass whooping. And I knew the Bucks would bounce back. They are a good team. They're a well-coached team. They made the playoffs last year. Baker's playing absolutely out of his mind.
Mike Evans continues week after week to shine.
And Chris Godwin, and that defense continues to do what they've been doing all year. And up until that fluke Denver game, they've been shutting people down, and they've even shut the Lions down early this year. So this Bucks defense is for real, and people's slowly beginning to learn that a Todd Bowles defense is always going to be pretty damn good.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel bad about picking Atlanta as my division winner because Tampa is now easily my odds-on favorite to win that division the way they've been playing so far. And we were also talking about that awful Thursday night game between the Cowboys and the Giants. I mean, flags. Jesus Christ. How many more flags do you need in a football game?
I all the flags aside, I think if you are a Cowboy fan, you cannot sit there and tell me that you came out of that game feeling confident, even with the win. Like Stephen A.
All
Like
the
Stephen
injuries
A.
they got.
Like Stephen A. said, and like Stephen A. or Pat McAfee, matter of fact, made a good reference talking about everybody knows how Jack Braun Breaker is. Like that's like Braun Breaker going into the gym and bench pressing 100 pounds 20 times. Like, that's not impressive. Like, that's 100 pounds. He can do that in his sleep. Same thing with the Cowboys. What is winning by 6 points, 5 points against the New York pitiful Giants? What is that saying? You're supposed to do what you did last year. You're supposed to be beating them 40-0. The fact that you letting them in the game is like, you should be having more questions. You should be asking more questions as a Cowboy fan about the Cowboys than you should be satisfied after that game than coming into the game. Because, like, Jesus Christ, all the Giants needed to do, they couldn't even get the damn ball in the end zone. Just get the ball in the end zone once, and it's probably a tied ball game. They could not score a single touchdown. Every time, field goal. But you know what? They moved the ball at ease against the Cowboys, literally. And Cowboys can run their mouth all they want, talking about, oh, we stopped the run. Who just stopped? You stopped Devin Singletary. He ain't worth a. It's not Saquon Barkley. It's not Christian McCaffrey. It's not Derrick Henry.
No wonder
Stopped
Buffalo
a
got rid
bottom
of
tier
him.
running back. Yippee, whoopee. Do cartwheels. You stopped a bad running back. But you know what else? Who you couldn't stop? Malik Neighbors. I mean, this
Nope.
rookie receiver
That's
looked like he
right.
was damn Marvin Harrison back in the day. Like, he was killing you. And Trayvon Diggs was getting burnt. And then also the Cowboys lost some pieces. Micah
Yes, it
Parsons,
is.
high ankle
Yeah,
sprain.
Michael Parsons and
Demarcus
Devontae
Lawrence on
Lawrence.
IR for 4 weeks. He's out. Trayvon Diggs got a leg injury. He's possibly could miss Sunday.
Yeah. Hey, tough times for the Cowboys.
Yep.
Moving on down the schedule. And we might as well get this one, talk about this one, because I know Joey's got a lot to say about this one. And I had my doubts because we don't know how good, a rookie quarterback can be in back-to-back weeks. But boy, was we all proven wrong. Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders for a second consecutive week showed up, showed out against the Cardinals. Jaden Daniels had another great game.
You know what? You, Steven, you, Kevin, Ezra, Hijacker, a whole bunch of NFL writers, a whole bunch of sports writers, nobody gave my boys a chance. Who was the only one that did? Me. And
Yep.
what happened? We went out and into the desert and beat them by 4 freaking touchdowns. Let's go.
You know what? The way this is going, I do not trust the Cowboys against the Commanders.
It looks. But you know what? There's a reason I'm skeptic of the Commanders. And Jaden Daniels not one of them. He's the obvious, like, he is the blemish out of it that, yeah, there's no question he's going to be a star. The question I have is, again, who blew a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl? I do not trust Dan Quinn. I do not care. I do not trust Dan Quinn, and I never will. There will be some game down the line. I don't know which, and I don't know how, but he's going to find a way to fuck it up. And it ain't going to be on Jaden Daniels. It's going to be on Dan Quinn. I don't trust him. I do not trust him. That's why I'm skeptic. And I think as good as Jaden Daniels is that level of success sustainable? Is it sustainable to do that? Because I mean, 80% completion percentage is something you play on Madden against the computer the AI computer when you're on all Madden. Like, they just don't miss. I don't know if it's sustainable. The real question is, which they answered the bell Sunday, but will the defense continue to play good? Like, we seen they were awful against Cincinnati. They played a little better against Arizona. Can they continue to play good, especially when it gets time to play in the Philadelphia Eagles, the Dallas Cowboys, divisional games? Can they play good? I like that they stopped running Jaden Daniels, and Jaden Daniels finally starting to get down and learn to slide, because I mean, he had a little wake-up call against the Giants, like I said. Like, he took a shot to the knee, and you know what? I hate to say it, and I know the Shanahans were the one that ran him in the ground, but I just don't want to see Jaden Daniels end up like RG3 from running the football, like slide. That's the only
Right.
thing to worry about, or just keep throwing the damn ball.
Right. The
I mean,
Chiefs. Oh, go
I mean,
ahead.
I'll admit right now I am enjoying this success for the Commanders because it has been a long time coming. We have not started 3-1 since 2011, so I'm not sure how much longer it is going to keep up. But for right now, I'm loving it. I'm
Yep.
loving it.
Yep. I can imagine. You know, like he's proven so far he's looking good. But speaking of good, but in the total opposite, bad. Patrick Mahomes has not played great these the start out the season so far. The Kansas City Chiefs yet again squeak out a victory 17-10 against the Chargers.
Hey, only this time they didn't need the zebras or help to help them cheat.
Yep. If
I
I am the Chiefs, I am, I feel lucky that 3 of these games, the referees played a huge part in some of these flags. And then, unfortunate that you played the Chargers and they were banged up.
Yeah, I don't know. This year, let's just. I know he's entering GOAT conversation, but let's call it like it is. Patrick Mahomes hasn't played worth a fucking crap. Literally,
Nope.
he's been in a bottom 15 of almost every category this season, and I mean, he could turn it around. Obviously, we know who it is. We know it's Patrick Mahomes, but the fact that what's even more concerning, Travis Kelce is more concerned about going on tours than he is playing football. He's had he again another stupid subpar game of not catching the football, not getting yards. And what makes it worse, the one guy that Mahomes was targeting all this year that has success tore his ACL in Rashee Rice. I so now what are you gonna do? You need to
Yeah,
trade
and it was
somebody.
yeah,
Kelsey ain't
and it was Patrick Mahomes that actually caused the injury because Rashee Rice was trying to make a tackle after Mahomes threw the interception, but Mahomes decided he wanted to try to trip the defender, which is, I believe, is illegal. He would have gotten flagged for that. That is, if he had the correct official. But while Patrick Mahomes was sliding, he collided with Rashee Rice right in both of his knees. So it's behind.
just like a Rashee Rice thing to do. Slam into something and leave the scene of an accident going in the locker room. Oops.
Oh,
Sound, sound like a
mentioned?
Rashee Rice thing to do.
Was that just mentioned on live?
Yes, it was. This was not pre-taped, and no, this is not going to fuck up like AEW's collision taping on Saturday, where the footage shown a split second of the match and then it rewinds to the same part of the match again. This is actually live. No.
Hey, that's what the Jacksonville Jaguars need to do with a good Trevor Lawrence pass. Rewind it so he can do it again.
Hey, or it wouldn't be like not this past Monday, but no, yeah, not yesterday, but the following Monday on Raw, whenever they advertised something that hadn't even been announced yet.
Yep. Yeah. This is not what happened on Saturday between Jeff Jarrett and Hangman Adam Page, where a part of the match was missed because there was something wrong in the production. Like, seriously, how do you screw up a pre-taped wrestling show?
Well,
Come on.
wait a minute now. The Carolina Panthers, they haven't been officially announced that they're eliminated from the playoff, but they have already been advertised as being eliminated for the playoffs. Does that count?
Funny. I thought you would have said. I figured you would have said the Dallas Cowboys first.
Anyways, moving on down. The Raiders beat the Brownies 20-16, and geez Louise, Deshaun Watson continues to struggle.
I guess he ain't getting no more happy endings in Cleveland, so
No.
he's just continuing to struggle. But
San Francisco beat up on the Patriots 30-13
well,
in a huge comeback victory after losing last week.
hold on. I want to go back to the Raiders game for a second because the fact that what comes out of the game is more concerning than anything.
Devontae Adams.
Said literally he will not play another snap for that organization. He's done. And Antonio Pierce liked the tweet that he's not playing another snap for that organization. So
What a joke.
And I heard that the Raiders want a second or third round pick. That's it. And everybody in their God blessed mind is talking about the Chiefs should get Devontae Adams. First of all, that's not how this works. This ain't the Commanders and the Eagles sending their receivers to a division rivalry. You don't do that. Do you think for 1 second the Raiders are going to give the Chiefs their division rivalry Devontae Adams? No, I do not care. They got a better chance of acquiring DeAndre Hopkins from Tennessee than they do Devontae Adams. Yeah, I honestly,
Good point. Good point.
There's one team I think that can acquire Devontae Adams, can afford Devontae Adams, and it's probably the New York Jets.
Yep.
But I don't think that's going to make Aaron Rodgers better, but I can see the Jets acquiring Adams. I can see other teams possibly. It's just give or take.
Yep. Also, moving down the schedule real quick, the Bears beat the Rams 24-18 to get off the snide. Like I said, the Niners beat the Patriots 30-13. And man, I mean, despite all the injuries, San Francisco can, they got the talent, but if they can string some victories together, this team can be back to where they want to be. And everybody can stay healthy.
Well, everybody reluctantly, a lot of people came back in that game.
Debo came back. Yep.
George Kittle came back.
Yep. And Kittle had a touchdown.
Fred Warner did sprain his ankle, and I gotta say, it might be a little biased, but looking at the numbers, you can't tell me a defensive player in the NFL right now playing better football than Frederico Warner. I'm sorry, there's not one. In 4 games, this guy has 2 interceptions, 3 forced fumbles, 2 sacks, and a bunch of tackles, like
and 31 tackles,
and a pick six, touchdown. There is not a defensive player on the planet playing better than football than Fred Warner right now. It's absolutely insane how good he's playing. And he is the MVP of that team so far. Him and Brock Purdy and Jawan Jennings, that's been the 3 best players on the team this year.
Yep. Minnesota continues to be undefeated, beating Green Bay, surviving 31-29, at one point up 28-7. I mean, Sam Darnold, what can I say? He has proven us wrong already these first 4 weeks. If you would have told me that Sam Darnold in the first 4 weeks would have a better passer rating, better yards, better touchdowns, numbers than Patrick Mahomes, I would have said you're crazy.
Yeah, I would have said you need to be drug tested. But here we are, leading MVP candidate right now.
Yep. Also moving down the schedule. I think I've gone over most of these. San Francisco Raiders. Yep. As far as Sunday Night Football is concerned, the Buffalo Bills were absolutely seeked and destroyed by the Baltimore Ravens. This was not a contest.
Yeah. Buffalo they didn't come to play. And when they did, Baltimore was just hungrier more. They wanted it more. I think when they played again, Buffalo will play a lot better and probably could beat Baltimore. I think they got the talent too. Josh Allen it was one of them games. Baltimore needed it more.
They did.
You're 1-2. You're desperate to get to 500, to get back in the division with the Steelers, seeing as the Steelers lost.
Yep. 27-24 to the Colts.
Yep. You got to take advantage of it and win. So Baltimore was more hungry. They finally started using Derrick Henry more than a damn decoy.
First play from scrimmage, 87 yards from the Ravens' possession of the football. To the house.
200 yards rushing.
Yep.
That's insane.
Yep. On Monday Night Football, there was another double dip. Up first, it was the Tennessee Titans finally getting off the schneid and beating the struggling Miami Dolphins. They've lost their third quarterback.
Oh dear God. Yeah,
31-12, Tennessee beat up on the Dolphins. The
that was a shit
Dolphins,
show.
and I heard
watched,
this.
Who was it? We watched Mason Rudolph versus Tyler Huntley. That game was dog crap. I mean, Jesus Christ. Will Levis got benched. Mason Rudolph came in, sucked. Tyler Huntley sucked. The whole if you attended that game and bought tickets, you were entitled to financial compensation for having to endure that crap of a game.
What was not crap was the second game. The Detroit Lions beat the Seattle Seahawks in a very entertaining game, 42-29, and one of the most unbelievable performances on a national televised audience stage by Jared Goff. Not only did this man go 18 for 18 for 292 yards, 2 touchdowns, but the son of a gun caught a touchdown himself.
From Amon St. Brown with a play called the Philly Special.
They fooled the Seattle defense with that play. The Philly Special strikes again. And now Jared Goff is in rare company, joining a couple of other quarterbacks. I can't think off the top of my head, but he is another quarterback that has ran a touchdown. Obviously, being a quarterback, throws touchdowns, and caught a touchdown. That is rare company to be in. Rare company. I mean, what an unbelievable performance that Jared Goff had last night on Monday Night Football. Unreal. Unreal. I mean, the Lions right now, they are loaded on offense, and man, and when they are clicking, they are hard to stop. They are hard to stop. And Kevin, you called it, piggying back into the Packers and Vikings game. You said even if Jordan Love did play, you still wouldn't trust him, and he'd do a pick in that game.
If I'm not mistaken, he threw 3 picks.
Something like that. Yep.
Like 4 touchdowns, 3 picks. He looked like me on Madden. Always a touchdown, then a turnover. Touchdown, then a turnover. Touchdown, then a turnover. I remember that season in Madden, I ended up with 65 touchdowns and 39 interceptions. Something about the AI cornerbacks. I don't know. They catch like Randy Moss. But
so
anyway,
basically, your quarterback was a combination of Peyton Manning and
Brett Favre.
No. Who's the other guy? Played for the Bucs. He led the NFL in turnovers that one year.
Brad Johnson.
No, the other guy, the guy that wasn't a couple years ago.
Tom Brady.
Winston?
Winston, yes.
Yes, Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston.
Peyton Winston.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Well, again, folks, we are live here today for another edition of our Nation Sports Show here on YouTube. It is hard to believe it is the 1st of October. And we are live here right now at youtube.com/Our Nation Sports Show. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Owen_Sports Show, Facebook.com/Our Nation Sports Show. And before we get to the NFL picks segment, coming up this weekend is Bad Blood. And as a reminder, the Nation's Corner will not be live this Saturday. However, they will be live on Sunday for a special recapping episode for Bad Blood for upcoming this Saturday. 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, 4 p.m. Pacific at youtube.com/The Nation's Corner. And with that being said, folks, I think it is that time once again to get into our favorite segment of them all, and that is picking the NFL games for week number 5 already in the National Football League. And before we get to all of that, Joey, I think you have some numbers to rattle off.
Indeed. You got to reveal who won the pick segment from last week. And, I got to say, sometimes you have to take risks. And one of us took a risk last week by picking a different team to win in 2 out of our last 3 games. And because of that, we had a three-way tie for first place this past week. Me, Ezra, and the guy who took the risk, Kevin. We all went 10-6 this past week. Steven finished not far behind at 9-7, and Hijacker rounded up the field with a record of 8-8.
This picks is getting hot and heavy, folks. This has been a lot of fun.
Hey,
That's
I
right.
gotta say real quick, while you were talking about bad blood, let me just mention this. I think a couple weeks ago they should have did that video package with Roman and Cody at Georgia Tech Stadium. They should have done it during while Georgia Tech was beating Florida State's ass. That would have been sweet. That's when they should have done it.
Yeah, that's when they should have done it. But yes, it is time once again, ladies and gentlemen, for our pick segment, and kicking us off on Thursday night on Amazon Prime. It is an NFC South war between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going into Mercedes-Benz Stadium to take on the Atlanta Falcons.
I'm going to start this one out. I do not trust the Falcons against this Tampa Bay offense and defense. Give me the Bucs outright, 28-13.
All right, and while I fill yours in, Steven, I will reveal that yes, we do not have Ezra or Hijacker in here tonight, but we do have both of their scores, so I will be reading those off.
All righty.
All right, and Steven, you said the Bucs 28-13.
Yep.
Let's see. Hijacker is going the Bucs 21-17, and Ezra almost the same score, but just a little bit higher for the Bucs. He's going the Bucs over the Falcons 27-17.
Okay.
You know what? Go ahead, Joey.
I was gonna say I'm gonna follow suit with the Bucs. The Bucs, they are just a better team on paper. Give me the Bucs. I'm gonna go 28-16.
You know what? I might have to take the risk. No, I'm just fucking with you. What time is it? Start 8:00. Yeah, prime. Kirk Cousins. This ain't 1:00 in the afternoon. You know he's gonna stink. I got Kirk Cousins. I got Kirk Cousins throwing 3 interceptions. The Bucs win 24-10.
Whoa!
Okay.
Gosh. All right, and kicking us off on Sunday morning, I might add, it is our first international game. Our first game taking place overseas in London, England. It is going to be the Minnesota Vikings taking on the New York Jets Jets. I'm going to go in and get things started off with Ezra's and Hijacker scores. Ezra is picking the Vikings in a close one, 28-21. And Hijacker is picking the Vikings in an absolute blowout, 31-9.
And with that being said, I'm going to follow suit. I think the Vikings beat the New York Jets because there's no O in York because they don't have no O with the Jets. There's no such thing as offense. So give me the Vikings 28-6.
Damn!
No offense.
You know what? I'm gonna go a little lenient, but not by much. The Jets, I mean, I still don't trust them right now, seeing as how they only put up 9 points in a rain-soaked game against a tough Denver Broncos defense, might I add. And I honestly believe that Minnesota defense might be just a little bit stronger. So give me the Vikings outright. What the hell? I ain't being nice. Vikings 31, Jets 3.
Give me the Vikings to win. Give me Minnesota 27-14.
Oh, look at you being lenient.
Yeah, I'm being a little nice, but not very much.
All right. Up next, we will see the David Teppers going into Chicago to take on the Bears. I'm going to go ahead and get things started with the two scores that I have here. Hijacker has the Bears beating the Panthers 17-12. And Ezra, of course, has his Bears over the Panthers 24-10.
Give me Chicago 23-16.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Chicago. I think it's gonna be a dogfight. Give me Chicago 12-3.
You call that a dogfight? I call that a battle of field goals.
Dogfight my ass.
Oh, I meant trash can fight. Dumpster fight. Triple fight.
You know what? Give me the Bears in this one.
The Bears.
Yeah, give me the Bears. What's a good score?
3-0.
You know what? Bears over the Panthers 11-8.
Cubs beat the Kitty Cats. Okay.
That's a baseball score.
Yep, it is. It is.
That that 11-8. That's not a White Sox victory.
Nope, that's a Cubs victory over the White Sox.
Oof. Oof. All right. Up next, we have a AFC North showdown in the jungle, where we have Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens up against Slim Shady Cody Rhodes. I'm sorry, Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals.
You know what? I'm going to start this one out real quick. I think this is going to be my game of the week. I think Cincinnati shows up huge. Cincinnati defense is still awfully ass. So I think the Ravens win this game 37-34.
Oh,
Good game.
whoa. Okay. All right. Well, let's see. Ezra is picking the Ravens in a blowout, 30-13.
Oh, no mercy.
And Hijacker's going a little bit close, but he's still going with the Ravens, 25-17.
Give me Baltimore to run over Cincinnati and a double-digit victory, 27-17.
You know what? I wouldn't call this my game of the week, but I think it's gonna be a dogfight. I'm going Kevin's way. I think it is gonna be a dogfight. Cincinnati finally has a win, and sometimes all it takes for an NFL team to catch fire is getting that first win. And Cincinnati finally got one this past Sunday, so I think this one is going to be a dogfight. But I'm still going to go with the Ravens in this one. I'm going to go 31-28.
Okay.
All right. Ooh. This is a good game here, depending on how you look at it. Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills heading down south to take on C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans.
Oh.
And Stephon Diggs
Okay.
game against his old team. Or one of his old teams.
Ooh.
Well, I'm going to go in and get things started off with their scores. Hijacker is picking the Bills 26-23. And let's see, Ezra is picking the Texans over the Bills 31-28.
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and get mine. I'm gonna take the Bills outright. I think they bounce back big. They shut Stephon Diggs out, and they handle business. I got the Bills 31-17.
Woo!
Whoa.
Okay. You know what? I'm actually going to follow suit with that because, yes, Houston is a great team, but they literally had to score a touchdown with 22 seconds left to beat the Jaguars last week. So give me the Bills outright in this one. I'm actually going to go 28-13.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't see a Buffalo Bill team, losing back-to-back games like this. They're gonna show up to Houston pissed off and mad about it. Pissed off and mad about it. Give me Buffalo 31-17.
And I also
Nice
think
job.
Josh Allen's going to have something to prove to Stephon Diggs on the other sideline. So he's going to
Mm-hmm.
probably, I'm going to go ahead on a limb here and say he has his best passing performance, over 350 yards in the year.
Okay. All right. Up next. The beloved Jacksonville Jaguars are going back to their Trevor Banks Stadium as they will be playing host to more than likely Joe Flacco and the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh Christ.
You know what? I'm having a vision here. I see it now. Another Joe Flacco comeback on the rise. Give me the Colts in this one. 24-8. Joe Flacco time, baby. He's 40 years, he's like 45 years old, ready to roll. He's about to end up in a retirement home. He's got nothing to lose. He's gonna finish his story.
Yeah, see, Ezra's picking the Colts over the Jags, 28-14, and Hijacker is picking the Colts 29-15.
Yeah, I don't trust Trevor Lawrence in that offense. You're going 0-5 at the hands of Joe Flacco. You're about to get Flaccoed really bad. I'm going with the Colts 24-10. I don't trust this offense at all.
All right, well, I'm going to follow suit with you guys. I'm going to go with the Colts as well. I think Joe Flacco is going to pick up where he left off, and he's going to have another dominating performance against his Jacksonville Jaguars secondary. Give me the Colts. I'm going to go 31-9.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, you know what Jacksonville secondary has in common with a Sunday morning?
What's that?
They both have burnt toast. That's what Jacksonville's going to be this week. Burnt toast.
All right. Oh boy, this next one. Dumpster fire alert. Dumpster fire alert. Miami Dolphins going up to New England to take on the Patriots.
Why? Why? Oh.
Oh, dear God.
Oh, dear
You know
God.
what? I've seen some bad performances. This is the low of the lows. I thought the Patriots offense sucked so bad against the 49ers Sunday. But at the same time, the Dolphins offense might have been fucking worse. Somehow,
Please.
Jacoby Brissett against the 49ers Sunday had 80 passing yards going into the end of in garbage time in the fourth quarter. 80 passing yards. Tyler Huntley was probably worse. He only had like 70.
Guys, can I just point this out real quick? Sunday, it is the 2-year anniversary of the absolute shit shows on Thursday Night Football between the Broncos and the Colts.
No.
Well, we're about to recreate it, buddy, with the Patriots and the Dolphins. You know what? I'll start this one off.
Only on a Sunday.
I'm going to start this one off.
That's not what I love about Sunday.
Give me this high baseball score. Give me the Patriots to beat the Dolphins. 13-11. Yes, there will be a safety. 3 field goals and a safety for the Dolphins. and a touchdown and 2
Oh
field goals
boy.
for the Patriots.
Okay, well, Hijacker is actually picking the Dolphins to win this one 17-6. And let's see, Ezra is picking the Patriots to win this one 17-13. You know what? I'm gonna go a baseball score as well. But Steven, you're gonna love this score, buddy. 8
Oh
to
boy.
5.
8 to
Wow.
5.
Two safeties, 2 field goals and a safety, and a field goal and a safety. Hallelujah. This is going to be a hell of a game. But you know what? Let me just say this real quick before you give a story, Steven. You know who really wins this week? Not America. With this game, America loses. All of the world loses having to watch this damn game.
You mean to tell me if I wanted to watch this shitstorm of a game, I have to pay Sunday ticket? Nah, screw that. No,
But
Could have made it worse. It
yeah.
could have made it America's game of the week.
sir.
Oh dear God, no.
No, no.
God, no. But yes, I'm going with the Patriots if I didn't make that clear.
Give me the Patriots. I don't trust this Dolphins team with their quarterbacking problems. Give me the Patriots. 14-6.
Oh, 2 touchdowns. All right, okay. Or 3 field goals or 4 field goals and a safety. Yeah, 14-6. Wait. Here's a better one: 4 field goals and a safety for New England, and 3 safeties for the Dolphins.
There you go.
There we go.
There you go.
uh,
All right. Up next. Yeah, this one is gonna be a very, very easy one for me.
Oh, yeah.
Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns going into Washington to take on Jaden Daniels and the Commanders.
oh, come on. Give me Washington. I right to beat up on this Browns team. 34-13.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Washington 27-13.
Hey, I was telling Steven I wanted to see a Commander sweep across the board, and that's what we're gonna see. Let's see. Ezra is picking the Commanders over the Browns, 21-16. I don't know why he's going that close. But Hijacker is picking the Commanders as well. He's going 35-24. You know what? I'm going with the Commanders outright. I think Jane Daniels is once again going to have himself a great game. May not get to 40 points this time around, but hey, whatever we do, as long as we blow out the Browns, give me my Commanders 34-14.
Okay.
All right, up next, kicking off our 4 o'clock games, we have I really wouldn't call this a showdown between AFC West teams, but we still got to pick it. The Las Vegas Raiders
Oh, yeah.
going to Denver, the Mile High City to take
Oh, God.
on the Great Value Walton Rollback Donkeys, otherwise known as the Broncos.
Oh, God. Oh, God. This game was good.
Let's see. Hijacker is picking the Raiders to win this one 20-16. And Ezra is following suit.
That's being too generous. 20-16. That's being too generous.
Yeah, Ezra's going with the Raiders over the Broncos 18-17.
I'm going with the Raiders over the Broncos 13-10.
I'm digging that score, Kevin, but I'm going to go 1 point higher. 14-10 Raiders.
Give me Vegas.
2-2's high.
Give me Vegas 16-10.
All right. Up next, a showdown, or not really a showdown, but a matchup in Hijackers terms, Santa Clara. It is Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals going into Santa Clara to take on the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, I don't. Arizona's good. except the 49ers got some good DBs. So Marvin Harrison, I don't imagine him doing what he's been doing against Charvarius Ward. Give me the 49ers outright. I'm going to go 31-16.
Give me the Niners 31-20.
I'm going to go with the Niners as well. I'm going to go 37-17.
Okay.
And Ezra, oh, he's going close on this one. He's going with the Niners 30-24. And let's see, Hijacker is picking the Niners as well, 34-21. All right, up next, another game out west. Is going to be Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers going into LA to take on Matt Stafford and the Rams.
I don't trust this Rams team. They're banged up. They're beat up all to hell. Give me Green Bay to beat the Rams 27-14.
Let's see. Hijacker is picking the Packers in this one, 28-14. And believe it or not, Ezra is going with the Rams, 20-23 over the Pack.
You know what? I'm feeling that. I'm going with the Rams. While the Rams are banged up, give me Matthew Stafford at the helm over Jordan Love. Jordan Love is so sporadic and so he makes some terrible decisions. Give me the Rams in this one, in a close one, on a game-winning field goal set up by Matthew Stafford, 27-24 Rams.
Okay.
I am going that exact same score, Kevin, 27-24, but I'm switching the winners. Packers. I'm going to Packers 27-24.
All right.
All right. Up next, we have. Oh God, this team is gonna get Oh, you know what? Attention! Slaughtering alert! Daniel Jones and the New York Giants going into Seattle to take on the Seahawks.
Give me Seattle to beat up on the Giants 28-10.
I got questions about this. I'm not saying the Giants have a chance, but Seattle isn't that very impressive, especially on the defensive side. Their DBs are garbage. If Malik Neighbors passes the concussion and plays, I think the Giants can put up a little bit of points. I think Seattle still wins. Give me Seattle 26-17, Seattle.
Okay.
That's realistic.
Let's see. Ezra is picking the Seahawks over the Giants 20-10. And Hijacker is picking the Seahawks 27-13. I'm going to go with the Seahawks as well. Give me the Seahawks. You know what? 30-20. All right. Sunday night football. We have Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys going into Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers.
I'm gonna start this one off. As much as everybody wants to say, "Oh, Dallas on the road, they're gonna stink." Pittsburgh, y'all. I think that this is gonna be the game that they win to start this stretch. Because let me just tell you this: Dallas has got a very, 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 very rough stretch after this. Starts with Pittsburgh. Then you got the Detroit Lions coming to town. Then you got to bye. Then you at Santa Clara to play the 49ers. Then you have the Eagles. Then you have the Texans. So they need every little win they can get. I think they come out hungry. I think Justin Fields goes back to being the bum Justin Fields he's been. And Dallas is able to somehow stop them. I think Dallas has an impressive win this game. I think they actually come out and impress to win this game. I think they beat that tough Steelers defense. Give me Dallas in a close one, 26-23.
Wow.
Nice score.
All right, well, let's see. Hijacker is picking the Steelers over the Cowboys in this one, 24-16. And Ezra is picking the Cowboys in this one, 24-20.
Oh, he's a secret Cowboy fan.
Oh, God, you know what? This one is actually going to be pretty tough for me because, I mean, obviously the Commanders fan in me is saying, screw them Cowboys. They don't deserve nothing. But I don't know. I mean, the Cowboys are going to be without some defensive players for sure this week, with, of course, Michael Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence, as well as Trevon Diggs, more than likely. But I don't know. I mean, if the Colts can beat the Steelers, with the Colts looking not the best team on paper, you know what? I don't feel happy about it. I feel really on the fence about this, but I'm actually going to go with Dallas. I'm actually following suit with Kevin. I think the Cowboys are going to need this win because, like Kevin said, they have a very, very tough schedule coming up with the Lions, the 49ers, the Eagles, and the Texans all coming within the next 4 to 5 weeks. So, yeah, I think Dallas gets this win. I'm going to go Dallas 31, Pittsburgh 27.
Yeah, I don't feel great about it because their defense has a lot to be desired, but I just think that they got the better quarterback, they got the better receivers. Don't feel great about it, but give me Dallas in a close one. Give me Dallas 28-24.
We're almost done. I can't do my school.
All right, Steven, you said the Cowboys?
Yep, 28-24.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to get this last game, but then I got to get off here because I got to tend to some baby business. But this last game is going to be Monday Night Football with Derek Carr and the New Orleans Saints going into Kansas City to take on Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Zebras. I'm sorry, the Chiefs. Nah, dang it, the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Man. Mm. My heart wants to say the Saints bounce back after they were robbed against Atlanta this past week, after they put up a fight against Philadelphia. My heart wants to say the Saints, man. I really do. But the referees are in Mahomes' jockstrap, so I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. The Chiefs. Give me the Chiefs 20-17.
Yeah, give me Kansas City to beat the Saints 24-16.
All right, and Hijacker is picking the Chiefs in this one, 28-17. Ezra is actually picking the Saints to win this one, 28-23. And yeah, I'm gonna finish this off. No differences between me and Steven this week. I gotta go with the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are gonna win this one. I'm going to go 28-24.
All right, and there's our picks.
Yep, and with that being said, like I said, I need to get off here because I got to tend to some baby business. So, peace out, everyone. Enjoy the football. Enjoy the rest of the sports. And if you're a baseball fan, enjoy the postseason.
Yep.
Peace.
Great job, dude. All right. Yep, there's our picks for week 5, and should be a very interesting slate of games coming up this week. Always fun doing these picks. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, let's see everybody get our picks ruined and go 8-8. That's what we do. We starting to have mediocre records like the Dallas Cowboys. Well, I'm gonna get off here, Steven. I'm gonna get ready to get tending my daughter, get ready for her to go to bed.
Yep. All right, my man. Great job as
I'll
always,
see y'all
man.
next week.
Yep. See
Hopefully
you
we
next
talk
week.
about Trevor Lawrence again.
Yep.
Maybe if he cut his hair, it'll be better. Get the Cody Rhodes style haircut and be like Joe Burrow. Cut that blonde hair off. Shorten it up. But it was good talking football with y'all. Hope everybody has a good night, and we'll see y'all next week.
Yep. Great job by those guys tonight. Again, folks, we have been live here today for another edition of our Nation Sports Show here on YouTube.com. And I think that right there does it for all of us here today, as this has been another great show and everybody here tonight. Again, due to not feeling well, Ezra is not here tonight. And Hijacker's not with us tonight, attending some things. But hopefully these guys will be back on with us next week. But anyways, folks, thank you for tuning in tonight for another edition of our Nation Sports Show. Again, don't forget to follow us on Twitter or X at Owen_Sports Show, Facebook.com/Our Nation Sports Show, and where we are live on most Tuesdays at YouTube.com/Our Nation Sports Show. And again, as a reminder, the Nation's Corner will be live on Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, 4 p.m. Pacific, as the guys and gal recap Bad Blood coming up this Saturday from Hotlanta. Highlighted by Hell in a Cell between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns taking on Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa, among other matches happening on the card. Should be one hell of a show. And tomorrow is AEW's 5th anniversary of Dynamite on the date that they started. So we'll see how that goes. I think that is going to do it for us here again tonight, folks. Again, our condolences, our thoughts, and our prayers go out to the family and friends of Pete Rose and Dikembe Mutombo. Rest in peace to those great players across the world of baseball and the world of basketball. Again, folks, the MLB postseason has already began today. And thank you for tuning in tonight. For those that tune in on demand, thank you very much as well. We will be back next week for another edition of our Nation Sports Show. So with that being said, for K-Rock, Kevin Rory, JT, Joey Thornton, Ezra Vickery, William Gyron, Randy Gyron, Hijacker Mike, I've been your host for this evening, Stephen Wyand. And take care, everybody. Be good to one another. Make memories with one another. Enjoy the wrestling. Enjoy the sports. Enjoy the baseball playoffs. We will see you back here next week. Same time. Same YouTube channel. Enjoy the sports. Enjoy the wrestling. Take care, everybody. Peace.
Turn me up. Turn me up. Turn me up. Turn me up. Turn me up.